Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest live show of all time. That is right, everybody. Today, we're doing yet another episode of whatever the hell this is. That's right. With that being said, I decided, you know what? I'm going to start early today. Why, you may be asking? Well, I may or may not have slept at all, but that's okay. Adderall is my best friend. What can I say? With that being said, hello, Katie, and congratulations on being the first person in chat. Hello, Phoenix. Hello, Anon420 Cereal. Hello, Rose. Hello, Fixie Pixie. Hello, Joanne. Hello, Josh. Hello, Neptune. Hello, Daniel Berry. Hello, Froggy. Hello, Spooky Noodles. Yes, very early. You know, I used to consistently start streams at this time, last summer. Though, to be fair, was I taking... I actually don't remember if I took summer classes last summer. If I did, it wasn't as many. Or it would have been maybe one. Because I remember last summer, and I've said this quite a few times. I remember I was originally going to lifeguard as my part-time job, and now this is my part-time job. So, yeah, and that's why I had so much time, is because I was gonna get as many lifeguard shifts as possible and whatnot. And I didn't want because I needed to, it's good to save up money and whatnot. And, didn't necessarily need a bunch of classes to interfere with that, because then it'd be really difficult to schedule, etc. But, I mean, now it's okay, I don't really have an excuse. I got to be a little bit more busy. Got to take at least 3 classes. So that's what I'm doing, is taking 3. And, it's just 3 summer college courses. There's a decent amount of work you have to do. And, there's that combined with YouTube. But, I find a way to make it work, I find a way to make it work. But yeah, and let's say hello to some more people. Hello, Fixie Pixie, Joanne, Josh, Neptune, Daniel Berry, Froggy, Spooky Noodles. Did I say hi to you already? Cheese, Anglin Ball Mapping, Al Optimist, 33, Hotel Guy, Limer, Motor Oil. Smash that like. I agree, Cheese, and welcome back. Welcome back. Hello, JP Hoover, saying you should take 6. 6 of what? Oh, summer classes? Yeah, no thanks. I think I'm good. 3 is plenty. Hair is pretty, thank you. I don't know. I didn't really do much differently today. I think I literally just... Okay, I guess I put more product in it than usual, which makes it softer, maybe? I guess? I don't know. Normally I try not to go overboard with the amount of product I put in or whatever. But I don't know, it doesn't make it look if anything, it still looks a bit on the dry side, so I found out I might have an eating disorder. I've thought about the possibility of me having an eating disorder. It's very possible. I'm not saying that it is, or it's something I have, right? I've never been diagnosed with it. And if I do, it's it would be the most minute, this is probably something you can ignore and it will go away on its own type of disorder, actually. Okay? So basically nothing, okay? It's, I don't know if I'd say it's a disorder. It's more of, an unhealthy, but, strategic way of getting results that I want, kind of, but in a way that's very easy for me. For the past few months, I've been living almost exclusively off of eating hot chips. Can't say I'm proud to admit it, but long story short, it's a great way to weight cycle. And the reason for that is, I'll go through cycles of okay, I'm gonna eat a bunch of snacks. And that's easy. Because it's not too filling, right? So you can go back for more, right? So I can gain weight doing that. Right? And then it's okay. And then there's the I don't necessarily usually have the urge to eat unless I'm super hungry, in terms of the urge, rather than eating in terms of boredom or vaguely hungry. And then it's okay, only letting myself eat when I'm super duper hungry, I guess. And only eating just enough for me to forget about it. And then it's okay. And I found that for me, I find that fluctuating from I don't know. I've been fluctuating from around 133 pounds to 141 or something. I don't know what the highest I've ever gotten was. I think it was like, I think maybe like 143 or something. So like a 10-pound range, right? So I don't know how well that's gonna work for fat redistribution, but it certainly will help to an extent. But I don't know if I need to make the range wider. I'm not trying to cause harm to myself, and you know, it's all under control, okay? So I wouldn't call it an eating disorder because I could probably stop that behavior anytime I wanted. Yeah, but mine might be disordered eating and it's just starting. Yeah, and it's like I've thought about the possibility of that being the case for myself as well, right? Because it very well could be the case that this is like how an eating disorder develops, right? Like I don't think I currently have an eating disorder. I think that if I create a pattern of behavior that I can't escape and I'm not careful or self-aware about how I do it, then I could potentially have something in the future. Also, hello, Emrakag Bogmeyer. I hope you are doing well today. I typed this using my appendix. Thank you for sharing, Ice Wallow Cum. Incredible username, by the way. Femi, what's your comfort show? I mean, I don't know if I'd say, I generally don't watch TV as like a comfort thing. I guess if we're talking about like, I mean, there are shows that I really like. Or I don't know, like if I really want to be like feeling nostalgic, maybe I'll watch Doctor Who. It's been a while since I've watched Doctor Who, specifically from the Ninth Doctor to the 12th Doctor. I thought that the personality and the actress for the 13th Doctor was fine. I just thought that the writing of those seasons were bad. I think that they were written by somebody else. And it was disappointing. I just didn't like the way that it was written. It just seemed very surface level, I guess. I don't know. That's how I feel about it, at least. Yes, this is an early stream chat. We're going to do more of these. You know, assuming we do well, you know. Anyways, mine is my little pony. Dude, I grew up, I don't even, I'm going to be real. I barely remember anything about the show, but I watched it when I was like, I want to say 8 years old. And you know, I was like, at that time, I didn't really give a fuck. You know, I was just some 8-year-old kid with like a buzz cut. But I think I literally had like a rainbow dash shirt. I wear it in public. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'll wear whatever I want. Right? And then I became like, and then I went too far in the opposite direction where it's like, no, that's cringe. No, Mom, don't save any photos of me wearing that shirt. Please, God, no. That's so embarrassing. No. Forget about the My Little Pony phase. Matt Smith was my favorite Doctor. Yeah, I'd definitely say either Matt Smith or David Tennant. For sure. I feel like in terms of like, I don't know, I'd have to say Matt Smith. He's just so goofy. I love the goofiness of it all. I used to watch so much Doctor Who, but it just doesn't appeal to me anymore. Well, I feel like it's gotten to a point where it's like, it doesn't understand why, you know, certain things are like considered meaningful. Like, I think they forgot why Daleks are scary. I think they forgot, like, you know, sort of like how to create stakes. It's just like, well, what if we added like a bunch of lore and like said a bunch of random stuff? Well, wouldn't it be cool if, and then whatever. It's the same issue I've noticed with Disney Star Wars, where it's like, not all Disney Star Wars. Andor is the exception, of course. Andor is a masterpiece, but in terms of the Star Wars sequels, it's like, or specifically Rise of Skywalker in particular, was very heavy on the, yeah, but like, I know it wouldn't make any sense canonically, but wouldn't it be really cool if we did, you know, this like really dumb shit that like contradicts previously established lore? I don't know. I'm not even saying that that Doctor Who ended up doing that. I don't think it made any mistakes as egregiously bad as Disney Star Wars did, but yeah, somehow Palpatine has returned. Yeah. No, it's like, I'm sorry, but the fact that like, you know, the fact that that's more of like a quotable line as a fucking meme to like laugh at the movie than anything else. Like that's like that's like the number one thing that people can quote from the movie. That and the they fly now? They fly now. That fucking shit. There's fucking cancer. It's like, oh, okay, it's just like cringe Marvel movie slop comedy. Okay. Anyways. Tempting in that skirt? You haven't even seen what my skirt is, have you? You can't just say it's tempting without having seen it. You're lying to me. I'm being lied to. I'm being tricked and scammed by my own audience. Can you believe that? It's very messed up. Still waiting on you to marry me. Well, that's some crazy stuff. If you like all that stuff, then how are you trans? Huh? If I like what? Star Wars and Doctor Who? What, do you think that trans people can't like normal things? Well, what do you think we are, another species? No! I hate Star Wars because I am transgender! Star Wars makes me so angry! I'm not allowed to have good taste in anything! It must be my transgender DNA that prevents it. Like, what? I will never understand questions like that. Anyways, the dangling thing in my mouth is her... huh? Hold on, what do you mean by that? No, I'm a girl, and I don't like that stuff. So how are you a girl? I'm gonna be so real, you are definitely too young to be watching me if that's your analysis. You are not old enough to... You probably aren't old enough to have a YouTube account. Anyways. Let's see. Trans people only like Hasanabi and Life is Strange. True! Very true. Dude. And computer programming, of course. You know, those are the only things that we like. Anyways. Transphobes really think that I, a gay guy, should be attracted to this? No, literally! Literally. Like, I will never understand that. Even Andrew Tate, of all people, you know, notorious right-wing grifter, manosphere sex trafficker with extremely, like, far-right regressive views, that even he recognizes fucking stupid. He's like, okay, well, would you rather fuck Megan Fox with a dick or Hulk Hogan with a pussy? Because I'm gonna be real, I don't care if Hulk Hogan was born as a woman. Alright? Just because Hulk Hogan doesn't have... Just because in this case Hulk Hogan has a pussy doesn't make it not gay. I mean, you're getting fucked by Hulk Hogan. Right? He said some shit like that. And we watched the clip on stream before. Like, it is more gay to choose Hulk Hogan with a pussy than Megan Fox with a dick. That was his conclusion. I'm not even joking. But yeah, no, people are just like I don't know. Broken clock, right twice a day thing. The unironically really based moment from Andrew Tate. Like, he was spot on there. Like, yeah, people are terrified of, like, being gay. So they'll choose the opposite of what they actually think. Right? Just because, like, they couldn't possibly fathom. Tate is in the closet. I'm gonna be so fucking for real. Him saying that is, like, the only evidence there is of him being even remotely straight. Like, I don't know. Based on how he talks about women more broadly, you might start to think that, yeah, maybe he's really not into women. He just sort of views them as a status symbol to impress men. But, I don't know. That seems to be an exception for some reason. The Trump/Elon breakup is mad entertaining. Yeah, I might have to cover that at some point, though I don't know where to even start. Like, where do I start? Do I start on Twitter? Do I start on YouTube? What do I even search for? You know? Who are we talking about? Well, for a minute we were talking about, Andrew Tate's only, well, maybe not his only base take. You know, maybe, like, I'm sure he's said more than one thing that I agree with before. Don't be like, oh, that's his one take, base take. Oh, are you saying it wasn't based when he said that pedophilia was bad. Okay, yeah, that was base too. Like, no fucking shit. Like, yes, I agree with that one as well. Andrew Tate is trans mask representation, by the way. The girls are fighting on Twitter. Trump/Musk. I think we might have to cover that at some point, though I will say we might get into that a little bit later. Yeah, that seems like a more of a late night tea type of thing, but we'll definitely have to cover it at some point. The cadence of your voice makes me want to slap a baby. Okay, do it. Record yourself doing it right now. Upload it. Upload it, all right? You won't fucking pussy. Yeah, that's right, you're scared. You won't do it. You won't. You're scared. Anyways, hello, Dominic Palmieri. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. I'm a geopolitical/political nerd. I can help you do research on the breakup. Yeah, I think that would be useful, for sure. I do want to get into something else that I, is, well, maybe I should cover the breakup first. I don't know. But there's something that I'm very excited to cover. And, where is it? Where is it? Oh, okay. I found it. Chat. Does anybody remember the Almost False YouTube channel that we made fun of before? There was I think there was one video where it was like how Jesus made me straight and cisgender. And there was another one that was like about a gay guy who got blessed by Jesus and became slightly less gay, maybe. Well, let's just say this guy has been going off the fucking rails lately. All right? And, let's see. I mean, we've got some incredible stuff. Like, I mean, there's members only content, and I don't have a membership, so I can't view it. So, unfortunately, we'll never get to find out about anti-gravity UFO, a witness's first-hand encounter, trading God for the lie of the 3% man. But what I'm really interested in is the true life. Hold on. The true life of a former satanic vampire. That's what I'm interested in. Also, thank you very much, Felix XD, for the £2, saying, I am scared to come out to my parents as trans. Honestly, I don't blame you. Honestly, I don't blame you. But yeah, I don't think I need to explain why this is such an absurd concept. Now, I'm going into this completely blind. I have not pre-watched any of this. So, we're going to find out about the satanic vampire. Or the former satanic vampire.
This interview contains graphic discussions that are not suitable for a young audience. Some of the topics may be triggering to some. Listener discretion is advised.
Watch out, chat. You might get triggered.
This goes back to the dawn of time, the idea of the vampire. I was given a fork in the road, and because of things I had heard from friends that were into this stuff, I decided to go with the vampire route.
Dude, I decided to go with the vampire route. And then you decided to go with the rectangular-shaped beard route for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe you just thought that was like a really good decision? It's not, by the way. It looks egregious, but, that's besides the point.
Some of these women were more than willing to have me bite them in the neck.
You mean women with a biting kink? Yeah, that's, like, not that uncommon. Like, do you know how many trans women I've encountered that are into that? Do you know just how many trans women I've interacted with, met in person, etc., that have told me that they're into that? Coincidence? I think not.
And drink their blood. I was told that if I kept doing this, that at some...
Also, no, if you bite somebody, you don't end up drinking their blood. Like, how hard do you have to bite somebody in order to drink their blood? Like, you got to put effort into that. Like, this is coming from someone who has bitten people before, because that's what they like. And they're constantly like, no. You're not doing it aggressively enough. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, do you want me to fucking tear your skin off? And they're like, well, yeah, of course I do. That's the fucking point. And I'm like, well, goddamn, you're insane, but fair enough if that's what makes you happy.
At one point, I would discorporate. I would die and live forever as...
Dude, he's gonna achieve immortal life as a vampire. This is very real stuff. Glad to see we're seeing some of the most incredible stuff. You know, almost false, but not quite. You know, it's very true information.
A vampire. This entity came to me, who I now believe is a fallen angelic being. And
no, not the fallen angelic being. Oh God, the horror.
and then at one point in the night, he came to me, and
oh my God. Oh my God, what a cliffhanger.
Hello and welcome back to the Almost False podcast, where I interview regular people with incredible stories.
Chat, is it too early to make fun of this guy's appearance? Is it too soon in the stream? I mean, he's openly homophobic and transphobic. But not everyone is aware of that. Not everyone's seen that content.
This episode is part 2 of Bill.
Look, all I'm gonna say is he looks extremely dysgenic. I think you get the point. Like, bro is a dysgenic mong.
Nebulon's testimony. In part 1, we talked about his involvement in the highest levels of Freemasonry.
Don't body shame. I'm sorry, but like, he chooses to look like this. Like, he chooses to have this like weird, awful, half-assed, sort of partially grown, disgusting beard mustache thing. He chooses to have his hair in the shape of a fucking triangle. That's all a decision on his part. He's choosing this. He's choosing to wear this shit on his neck. That's a conscious decision of his.
If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you go watch it first. It'll help you to follow along with this.
Oh boy. The very important stuff.
Today we talked about the more supernatural parts of his story, mainly his experience with vampirism.
His experience with vampirism. Oh my God, that sounds so scary. I can't believe that happened.
But also other events that happened in his life which defy a lot of what we believe to be true about the world. I can't lie, it sounds quite fantastical at first, but just give him a chance and listen to his...
Just give him a chance, okay? He was a real vampire, I swear. You should believe me. My sources, I made it the fuck up, but it's true. Just give it a chance.
Story before painting any kind of judgment.
Look, I'm gonna be real, it's very difficult for me to not paint judgments right now. I don't know, anorexic ninja? You know, I could see him be, he definitely could fit the archetype of an anorexic ninja. I don't know. All I'm gonna say is, look, if he just came out of Auschwitz, I wouldn't be surprised, alright? Blood is literally Auschwitz moding right now.
If there's one thing that I learned doing this podcast, it's that the world is a lot weirder than we think.
The world is a lot weirder than we think? Oh, dude. That means that vampires are real.
With that being said, let's jump into what Bill and I didn't talk about last time, starting with his time as an old Catholic priest.
An old Catholic priest? Please stay away from the children.
yeah, I'd always carried with me from the time I was probably 4 or 5 years old, I wanted to be a priest. And so I went to this.
Damn, he wanted to diddle kids since he was 4 or 5? Bro is the ultimate diddler. Bro was planning his diddling tendencies before he was even an adult. Like, goddamn, that's impressive. That's dedication.
This college, this Loras College, at that time it
Ain't no way this guy went to college and unironically believes that he was a vampire.
was a minor seminary. Then I got into the occult for reasons that I kind of mentioned in the last time we spoke. And so I thought, well, I don't think I really want to be.
You know, if I didn't know any better on the basis of what his teeth look like, I might think that he's a British person, you know? But, yeah. Also, thank you, Silats Wolfberg for the 5 CHF. I'm not sure what currency that is, but thank you very much. Saying, can you greet my friend, Noah Dorn? Give him some words of wisdom. She newly came out as trans. Yeah, hello, Noah. My words of wisdom are, I'm not a very wise person. I'm a dumb streamer. Wait, hold on. Why are you asking me for advice? What's going on here? Why am I the advice person? Yeah, he was a minor seminary. Yeah. I mean, he definitely does have an infatuation with minors if he's a Catholic priest. I mean, what can I say? Anyways, look, I'm gonna be real. HRT will do its magic, but don't just like boy mode and expect to magically become an anime girl and then present more femininely as soon as you look like an anime girl. All right. That's my advice. All right. This is an anti-boy moding community, actually. Kind of. Not really. Well, only in the sense that I'm using it to bully Kimmy a little bit. No, keep boy moding. Don't do it. This is just like a very indirect way of making fun of Kimmy. By the way, boy moders are welcome here, but we do encourage self-expression if it's possible and safe to do so.
A priest. I want to be a priest of witchcraft.
You want to be a priest of witchcraft? I mean, that's better than a Catholic priest. You know, a Catholic priest is much like a kids instead.
And so
I could make the same joke 20 different ways, 20 different times, but I think you get the gist.
Went through that, and I became, if you will, ordained a priest in the Wiccan thing, the Alexandrian rite of Wicca.
Whoa, really? Prove it. Cast a spell right now.
Became a high priest.
Really? Okay, whoa, the high priest of the satanic vampire cult? Oh my god, that's awesome. Dude, I wonder if the satanic vampire cult was actually run by Camden Gerard Davis. Dude, it would all go full circle. I mean, he was a vampire man. Also, thank you, D. Sanstabo, for the €5.99 saying, are you an Autobot or Decepticon? I'm gonna have to go with Decepticon. But, yeah. Anyways, it's all coming full circle. First we had Camden Gerard Davis, the ultimate vampire cult leader, and now we have this satanic or former satanic vampire. Who knows what kind of connections they have? Maybe he was working for the son of God, Camden Gerard Davis, all this time.
But I still had this thing in me because I had...
You had this thing in you? Was it an 8-inch dildo by any chance?
This, and you got to realize I was a medium.
He was a medium for this dick in his ass.
Now they call it trance channeler. And one of the things I was taught was how to go into a trance.
A trance? Okay. Show us that.
How to have, spirits, whether they were spirits of the departed or whether they were like, quote unquote, ascended masters.
Okay, summon the spirits right now on video. Like, prove that it's real or you're bullshitting.
And take over my body, speak. And I was what was called a voice medium, which meant I would have other entities speak through me.
No, what that means is that you, I don't know, like, do some, like, weird shit, and then you're, like, with your eyes closed, and you're like, oh, now I am the spirits, and I am talking to you. I'm actually one of the satanic vampire spirits. I'm definitely not just the same person, making shit up for money. No, that couldn't possibly be the case. You need medication? I need medication. Dog, we're talking about somebody making a video called The True Life Story of a Former Satanic Vampire. Like, this dude thinks that he was a vampire who did witchcraft. I'm sorry, I'm the one that needs my medication?
And along the way, I had...
Trans woman is me making shit up. Him saying that he was actually a satanic vampire who could cast spells and whatnot, and summon spirits. Oh, that's perfectly reasonable, according to your view.
Spirit guide was called Ambrosius. And he was supposedly...
Bro, how much am I gonna have to speed this up? He talks so slowly. Like, does bro have psychomotor retardation?
15th century monk who had died and now was this great ascended master, whatever. And he told me I needed to, in order to really understand magic.
Keep in mind, it's now at 1.2 times speed, and it almost sounds like he's talking like what would vaguely approximate to the talking speed of a normal human being, I
in the
think.
occult, I needed to go back and study for the priesthood in the Catholic Church. But of course, at that time I was married, and you can't be a priest in the Roman Catholic Church if you're married. Well, along
Bro, did you get a divorce?
comes this guy.
Dude, imagine divorcing your wife, and the reason is so that you can become a Catholic priest who diddles kids all day.
Who was
You're speaking twice his speed? Yeah, because he's fucking slow as shit.
a old Roman Catholic priest.
Like, bro actually has psychomotor retardation.
And
this does not sound sped up. That's my point. This sounds like a I don't know, maybe almost a normal talking speed for somebody that, really emphasizes their words, for somebody that really likes to stretch out their words. That's what it sounds like.
he told me about the old Roman Catholic Church. And so the old Catholic Church fellow that I met, who was an old...
He does have a point, though. It doesn't fucking matter what I'm going to be real. It doesn't matter what he says. No matter what he says, as long as I'm disagreeing with it, you're going to say, actually, he kind of has a point when he says that he was secretly a vampire who could summon demons. Okay.
Old Catholic priest, he arranged for me to get ordained to the diaconate and to the priesthood, and then ultimately become a bishop within this old Catholic Church. So that's how that happened. And so there was this thing that I was being taught partially by...
I mean, not only is the way that he enunciates words very slow and lethargic, he really takes his time with it, but he also says things in the most mundane, monotonous, and repetitive way imaginable.
Human magicians and partially by spirit guides.
Did I mention that the way he describes things is fucking redundant?
That by blending...
He's like 80, he's going to talk slow. When I'm 80, I'm going to have the talking speed of a normal person, okay? I refuse to be like this when I'm 80, all right? If I start sounding like this guy, just pull the plugs, all right? It's not worth it, okay? Don't bother.
The Catholic priesthood, with the witchcraft priesthood, with the Freemasonic priesthood, that I could get higher levels of occult power.
What I think actually is...
And what are you going to need that power for?
Important to mention.
You look so pretty. You go, girl. Thank you.
You already mentioned it, but to clarify is that, yes, you were a priest, but you weren't like a typical Catholic priest. It's like an offshoot of that, which is why you were able to be a priest and be married, and probably to an extent why also you were able to be a priest and be a Satanist at the same time, because it was...
Well, so bro is a Catholic priest and a Satanist at the same time. Now
seems to be more accepted there. But
why watch it then? Because it's fun.
I want to talk about something that happened with you, because a lot of things that happened with your life are extremely...
Yeah, you're cute. Happy Pride. Thank you.
Weird. And we're going to start to get into them. So while you were a priest, you were doing some weird things with the Eucharist, and
also some weird things with kids, most likely, but never bring that up. That might require Catholic priests be held accountable for their actions.
Maybe the transubstantiation.
Hey, thank you, Leslie's, for the... Lesias? I don't know if I pronounced that right. I'm sorry. But thank you, Lesias, for the $10. You beautiful fucking bastard. Very much appreciated.
Was a little bit too literal for you. So can you explain what happened there?
So we had a chapel in our home where I had an altar and I would do the mass.
The only chapel I have in my home is Dave Chappelle.
And, Catholics believe that when the words of institution are spoken, that this piece of bread becomes the body of Christ.
Dude, you're literally committing cannibalism. That's awesome.
And the wine in the chalice becomes the blood of Christ.
Wait, hold on. I thought this was like a metaphorical thing. Like, do they think that it's literally the body of Christ? Like, if that's the case, then why can't you find Christ's DNA in the blood? Where is his DNA? If it's his flesh and his blood, then surely you'd be able to find the DNA of it. But, his DNA would be there. Unless he didn't have DNA. But then, like to what extent was he in the flesh? Also, thank you, Felix, for the £2 saying, you look so pretty, OMG. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you're so pretty. Thank you. You guys are so sweet.
Well, anyway, so I did what I'd done dozens, if not hundreds of masses. And then I look in the chalice and it doesn't look like wine. And
that sounds like a schizophrenic delusion. Either that or you need to get your eyes checked, because clearly your glasses ain't doing it, man. They're not working anymore. You got to update your prescription.
It didn't look like wine to the point that I actually,
Yes, this is my real hair.
as I picked it up, because at one point the priest, drinks out of the chalice, and I actually spilled a little bit of it onto what's called the corporal, which is this white linen cloth.
Good job.
That's designed for that very reason. It's laid over the altar that if some piece of the sacramental elements falls, it lands on this white linen cloth.
Dude, it's basically for anybody that, can't hold the cup steady because they have arthritis after jitter clicking for 5 hours doing Minecraft PvP in 1.8.
So there was this little tiny stain that looked like blood.
But it was actually a cum stain, but dyed red.
And it happened that I had a friend who was a biochemist. And I took this to him.
Dude, me when the cum is
said,
red.
could you have this analyzed to see what it was? And he said, okay, it looks like blood, but, and I didn't tell him where I got it. And so he went and ran it through whatever, stuff they use.
Uh-huh.
And he said, well,
you're going to have evidence of this, right?
It's human blood, but of a totally unknown type.
Damn, that's crazy. Show us the evidence. Could you show us the evidence? I'd love to see the evidence.
And I go, wow.
Wow.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah. It's almost like something that was made up. Now, I'm sure he's going to have plenty of, evidence to back it up.
And so for years, I actually kept that. I snipped it out of the linen cloth and put it in a little receptacle and kept it. After I got saved, it just got thrown out. But
dude, bro actually kept a linen cloth with a wine stain in it.
Anyway, I mean, it was like, okay, this is telling me that what I'm doing is right.
No, it's telling you that you're schizophrenic or you're just lying about this. I'm more inclined to believe that he's just being paid and that he's lying.
Because the devil will give you lying signs and wonders, as it says, and I, by that time, believe me, I was not the
true that the devil is lying about everything. Everything is a lie except for what I tell you.
But I was still very deceived.
Thank you, Algo. Hell yeah.
So I think that's what you're referring
Double tap the smash like to tell the algorithm thank you.
to.
Subscribe if you really want to thank the algorithm.
That's really the only kind of thing that happened to me personally. But, other things happened, the whole thing with the church in Eddystone, Pennsylvania. I don't know if you want to get into that or not, or if that's too far off topic.
Well, I think
I mean, you've already been yapping a lot. People say I'm not a real woman, but I think this guy could be, considering how much he yaps.
we have so much ground to cover that we probably should move on. But this is
dude, even this guy is like, dude, I don't fucking care, man. Just shut up. Move on.
Weird at the very least. Because Catholics believe that the let's just talk about the wine for now, right? That the wine becomes, and some Protestants believe that as well, that it becomes the blood of Christ.
Dog, who cares? Show us evidence or shut up about it. Just stop yapping about it until you show us actual evidence, like scientific evidence. Not, oh well, there was one time where I had a friend one time that saw it and they said it looked like blood, and then it got stained there, and maybe they did a DNA test. Can I show you the DNA test that they did on it? No, but you just take my word for it, bro. Just take my word for it.
But I'm probably gonna get things mixed up. But it doesn't literally become blood, but it's it has the appearance. It's still wine, but in essence, it becomes the blood of Christ. It's a little bit confusing if you're confused.
Wait, that's not even what he said. He said that it literally turned into blood. Even this guy has no clue what the other guy is yapping about. I don't know. Maybe that guy isn't being paid. Maybe he's actually just schizophrenic. I actually have no idea, to be honest. And then this guy is trying to be whoa, you don't mean it literally turns into blood, because it sounds deranged and stuff, right? You're not actually suggesting that, right?
It's normal, but it's not literal blood. It's still wine. Whatever you did.
No, he's saying that it's literal blood. That's what he said.
Transformed it into blood, which is extremely weird and creepy. Did you do any ritual for that to happen?
Wait, hold on. In order for it to transform into blood, that means that it turns from wine into literal blood. Not metaphorical blood, right? Which is what I viewed it as when I was religious. I thought that there was some sort of I thought it was divine. I thought it was representative of that, and that I don't know, God blessed it or whatever, right? That's what I believed when I was religious. But at no point did I think I was drinking literal blood or eating literal flesh.
It was just an ordinary Mass of the Holy Spirit. And all that means is there's within, I don't know if they still do this in the Catholic Church now, but back then, because this is the 1970s, they have what are called collects that are inserted into the first.
Yeah, bro was already a senior citizen by the 70s. Bro was around for Jim Crow laws. Bro fought in the Civil War. He probably wasn't on the right side of history, to be
first
fair.
Part of the liturgy that pertained to specific saints or to the Holy Spirit or whatever. That's all the difference it was. It was perfectly kosher from the standpoint of, Roman Catholic sacramentology.
Okay, so if you're watching anything that's weird, then strap your seatbelt because we're going to get into...
Oh, strap your seatbelts, chat. Safety first. Don't forget to wear your seatbelt.
Other stuff. It was my understanding that around these years is when you...
Make sure to strap in if that sounds crazy. Also, thank you, Little Goober, for the 2, saying not a lot, but I hope you have a good day. Thank you so much. And any and all donations are always very much appreciated. And I hope you also have a nice day.
Sold your soul to Satan. And we're not going to go over that again because we already talked about the ritual now that happened in part 1. But there's something we didn't talk about, which is probably one of the most fascinating things of your life, is
the fact that this is part 2 and it still comes across as extremely so. I refuse to watch part 1. Part 1 must be egregiously
what
bad.
happened a few days after to a place that you refer to as the Cathedral of Pain. Can you explain the whole experience of what happened in as much detail as you can?
Yeah, well...
Oh, great. In as much detail as you can. Give us the most long-winded and obnoxious explanation possible.
It was somewhat after I did the thing where I signed my name in the devil's book and all of that, but I couldn't tell you how long. It was at least a month or 2. But I went home to visit my parents, who lived in a small farm town, like 90 miles from...
Also, I need to know, like, how many people, like obviously, there's going to be, like, maybe some tiny percentage of people that, like, I don't know, believe that God and Satan are real, but then they worship Satan. But, like, how many Satanists actually believe in Satan? Versus them just being like me, where they're just sort of a contrarian atheist type, right? Like, do they think that most Satanists are, like, actual, like, satanic worshippers of demons who do witchcraft and are vampires? Like, do people actually believe this shit? I mean, I don't know. They say some pretty wacky shit on Fox News, I'm sure, but, like, is this what Fox News does to a motherfucker? Is this the end result of Fox News? Is this the logical conclusion of watching a little bit too much Tucker Carlson?
Milwaukee. And I was in my bedroom asleep, and all of a sudden, it's like I felt like I was taken out of my body.
Oh my God.
Say, oh, well, this is just a weird...
Oh my God, he was astral projecting. It must have been God.
Dream. Well, maybe, but I don't think so. And what happened was I was taken out right through the ceiling of my bedroom and out into space.
That's sick, bro. He floated through the ceiling? What the heck? Bro, God must have been doing some wacky stuff.
And I was traveling through space at a very high degree of speed.
Dude, how fast were you going? The speed of light?
And I came upon...
Dude, how fast was he traveling? A high degree of speed. You know, a very high one.
In the distance, I could see, the rings of Saturn. And I landed, or was placed, on one of the moons of Saturn, where you could look at it, the planet Saturn, which is enormous, filled the sky. And I was...
Yeah, Saturn do have a tendency to be big. Saturn do be big. You're not wrong.
Standing there in my PJs, and this guy comes up to me in a white robe, kind of an elderly, distinguished-looking gentleman, and he says, "Come with me." And I turn, and there's...
And then I turn, and then I ejaculate all over him. Dude. I'm sorry, I had to. But I mean, come on. What do you think that means? Like, come on. You're just... Like, you're asking for it. You're like, I'm sorry, you are asking. You are asking to be made fun of when you say shit like that. I turned around and I saw a man in white robes and he said, "Come with me." I'm sorry, but like, you couldn't make it any easier for me. I don't even have to be creative. Like, it's just you're saying it. Like, Jesus Christ, at least give me a little bit of a challenge.
This structure that looked so unworldly.
Dude, he totally met
It
Jesus.
was like made out of black obsidian.
Dude, it was the black obsidian pillars in the end dimension. Dude, and then he saw the Ender Dragon.
Like a giant black jewel with weird
Yeah,
shapes.
were there end crystals above it? Also, thank you, Lesius, for the 10. Thank you very much.
And, you know, kind of like, almost like something you'd see out of the movie Alien.
Dude, almost like something you see out of the movie Alien. Hold on.
And, you know, kind of like, almost like something you'd see out of the movie Alien.
Dude, he saw the movie Alien and he's like, you know, I could make a really cool story out of that. All right, that's definitely what happened. Either that or like that's what inspired his schizophrenic delusion if he's serious. This guy is Steve. He is Steve. All right? In this world, we mine and we craft.
Oh, this was, I think, before
Dude, was there a chicken jockey?
that movie came out. Just unearthly, creepy shapes. And we go,
Dude, are you sure you were inspired by this like weird alien movie and not by the Minecraft movie? I mean, come on. We all know that the Minecraft movie is a cinematic masterpiece.
into this place, and he says, "Welcome to the Cathedral of Pain."
The Cathedral of Pain? Dude, what do they do there? Cock and ball torture? Welcome to the Cathedral of Cock and ball torture. Okay.
And I think to myself, this is one weird dream. And I want light in this room. There's just like these huge glass walls on either side. And it's big. I mean, it's like a cathedral, like you might see in a large city. And behind these walls, there's this unearthly greenish light, kind of like an aquarium. And in these walls are floating hundreds of naked dead bodies. Men and women, children, you know.
I'm gonna be so real. I think that bro just did a little bit too much LSD. Like, bro was taking shrooms, and then he saw some shit, and now he's like, dude, it was a message from God, okay? It wasn't that the mushrooms I took, you know, made me hallucinate, okay? It was God talking to me.
No, floating there.
This is why I'm scared of doing something like shrooms, by the way.
Like they're preserved in,
Yes, I bet he's gonna give plenty of evidence, of course.
I don't know,
Dude, me when I overdosed on acid.
formaldehyde.
Like, bro, you had a bad trip, admit it.
And it was just terrifying.
Bro didn't meet Jesus, he met the Hat Man. Dude. No, he met the man in the yellow hat from Curious George. Okay, that's who he met. All right? And that guy was secretly a serial killer the whole time.
To me. And they led me up. There was this altar that looked like it was made out of girders, iron girders. And they took off my pajamas, put me on this altar, and strapped me up.
Bro, they just stripped the dude naked? Dude, he literally got raped by Jesus. That's crazy.
Place.
Dude, he got metaphysically raped. Chat, is this the first metaphysical rape to ever happen? Holy shit, that's crazy. Dude, this is the first recorded metaphysical rape that we have.
And then these guys in white, when I say guys, they might have been women too, come out in white, black robes, and they're all chanting blasphemous things alternating between French and Latin and English.
Why not Japanese or Portuguese or I don't know, any other language? Why not Russian? Were those three languages that you speak? I mean, or is that just like a way of like making it sound cool? Because ooh, they're saying it in a different language, and that makes it more mysterious. Ooh, so spooky. Ooh, doesn't that make you more invested? Because like not only were they saying it in English, but they were saying it in French and Latin, and that makes it more cool and mysterious. Because they don't know everything that they say. I'm guessing that's the sort of angle he's coming from. But it's like, oh yeah, dude. Basically, when I definitely didn't do LSD, you know, I was definitely not tripping on acid. Okay, you know, I was astral projecting through the ceiling, and then I moved at a speed that I would consider to be fast speed. You know, very fast through space, and then I landed on one of the moons of Saturn, and then. And then I was sent to the cock and ball torture chamber. And then, and then, oh my God, my voice. And then the man in the yellow hat, alongside 10 big black oily men, showed up and made me strip naked.
About hail Satan and all this kind of stuff. And it's like they're raising up a level of power. You know, like in witchcraft, which is this is a whole different kind of thing, but they talk about raising a cone of power. Well, they were doing some sort of an invocation. And all of a sudden, at the back of the cathedral, quote unquote, there was this throne. And on the throne,
is the throne for you or is it for Satan? Yeah, who knows?
This giant figure appeared.
A like giant figure? Was it Gorlock the Destroyer? Was it Nicholas Diorio? Who could it have been? Was it Trump? Certainly hope not.
It kind of like if you were changing the channel on a TV real fast between, at one point it looked like the typical goat of Mendes, you know, the Baphomet thing that now you're seeing with this.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about because I'm not over the age of 60.
Satanic temple, you know, the goat with female breasts and, you know, the body of a goat and the head of a goat. And then it would turn into this beautiful angelic figure with long blonde.
Keep in mind, we're meant to take this guy seriously. Like, the reason he was brought on this podcast, in terms of the intention, wasn't for us to laugh at him like we're doing. This is the true life story of a former satanic vampire.
Blonde hair, androgynous and whatnot. And then it would turn into some kind of
androgynous. Oh my God, it's just like me.
Reptilian thing, and it would oscillate.
Dude, back. Yeah, it was Gordon Ramsay. No. It wasn't Gordon Ramsay, all right? It was Gordon Ramsay's evil twin, Gordon Ramsay.
Back and forth. And the chanting got more and more intense, and I got more and more terrified. And this thing got up off the throne, and it was probably at least 15 feet tall, cloven hooves.
Damn. That's pretty massive. Almost as massive as Ninja's low taper fade.
And it walked over to this altar where I was strapped on my back, you know.
Damn, getting into some BDSM shit. I see.
And it had these long talons. And it stuck one of these talons into my forehead. And the scar is still there.
Really? Okay, show us the scar. I'm sorry, but I don't see a scar. Where's the scar?
And it was like a red hot poker going into my brain.
You can still see the scar. Show us the scar. Oh, let me guess. You won't get close to the camera because then we'll see what your skin looks like close up, and we'll see that there's no fucking scar because it doesn't exist.
And of course, you know, the pineal gland is back there, the so-called third eye and all that.
Oh, dude, he opened his third eye. Dude, his penile gland, all right? His penile shaft skin gland opened up. And he was never the same.
My brain was like filled with red hot steam. And it was just excruciatingly painful. And he says, now you belong to me forever, body, soul, and spirit.
Damn, that's kind of kinky.
And then with that, he kind of made a gesture like that. And I was flung off the altar, flung through space. And it seemed to me like I was falling to earth in like a fire. And I landed in the backyard of my folks' house.
You landed in the backyard, so you teleported? So what you're saying is that when you were definitely not doing LSD, okay? You were definitely not doing LSD, and then you astral projected yourself through the ceiling and through space, and then onto one of the moons of Saturn, somehow magically, and then somehow your body itself, not like your spirit, but your physical body, magically teleported. But there's just like no documented evidence of any of this, or like you being able to tap into spiritual shit. Like, I'm gonna be so real, like, dude, you just did LSD.
And it was just starting to dawn. And I was laying there, you know, no pajamas. And
you were laying butt ass naked. Dude, I'm gonna be real. I'm guessing what happened is bro was tripping on acid. He did some dumb shit. He probably moved around. He might have gotten naked, went outside, and then passed out and didn't remember shit. That's the obvious explanation. That's if he's not lying and he's just stupid and delusional. Good chance he's lying, though.
There was this smoldering thing of grass around me, like that there'd been a fire there. And I staggered back into the house. I had the worst headache I ever had in my life. And from that time on, I was profoundly changed for the worse. But, you know, there was this smoldering thing of grass out there, and there was this hole in my forehead. which I
Dude, there was a hole in your forehead? Dude, where did the hole go? Why did the hole disappear? Why is there no longer a hole in your forehead? Where did it go? It disappeared. It magically disappeared for the video. Wow, what a convenient coincidence that is.
found a Band-Aid to put over because it was, it was bleeding. And
Yes, the Band-Aid will fix it up.
and I realized that was the Luciferian
Where's the Band-Aid now? Bro is too stupid to put on a Band-Aid for the fucking video. To, like, cover it up.
initiation, which I had been told about, but I didn't know what it was going to be.
What a wonderful story. I want a big, strong demon to do that to me. Yeah, preferably, like, a hot mommy-dommy archetype. You know, like... I would let a hot mommy-dommy demon own me, okay? You know?
And that meant I was worthy, quote unquote, to become a higher level Satanist.
Yo! No way! That's so cool! You're worthy? Whoa! That's awesome! Holy guacamole!
Wait a second.
Yeah, like a hot succubus, exactly.
And I just want to
The word succubus is hilarious.
make some clarifications, because you said you were sleeping in the beginning, right? And then you were taken out of your body. But now when you come back and land in the backyard, is that a dream or is that literally your backyard?
It was my backyard. I mean, I said it. I felt like I was taken out of my body, but
But what really happened is you were tripping on shrooms.
occult power is occult power. And I don't know how if my physical body left my bed and somehow went through the ceiling of the house and then traveled through space, or
Yeah, I'm sure that happened. You know, that shit like that happens all the time. That's definitely real. And totally doesn't defy the laws of physics.
what. But I do know that what happened in that cathedral, and again, within the occult, okay, there's this idea that if you do something to somebody's astral body, it may
Like, honestly, all he's describing is like, I'm gonna be real. He's literally just describing an LSD-induced fever dream. And acting like it's some incredible truth that nobody knows about the world and the universe and God and Satan or whatever. It's like, no. That's not what happened. You were on LSD or whatever drug. You were on shrooms. It's very obvious. You know, sometimes when you're tripping balls and nobody is there to watch you, you might end up in the backyard naked. Okay? You do a lot of dumb shit that you don't remember when you're tripping balls, okay? That happens. That's normal. That's like the most common side effect of tripping balls, actually, is that specifically.
may or may not have an effect on their physical.
You actually, from the perspective of everybody else, you actually don't magically teleport through the ceiling. You don't like fucking glitch through the ceiling like it's a fucking video game and teleport into the backyard but without clothes, right? No, they see you like take off your clothes and leave them in some dumb location that you're not going to find them for a week. And then they see you wander off into the backyard. Now, hopefully they'd be, responsible enough to stop you from doing it. But I mean, that's what it would look like to any outside observer.
Body. Okay. And that's called psychosomatic magic. And there are all sorts of examples of this in psychiatric literature. So I don't know, because the whole thing was so surreal. And
Psychiatric literature? You mean where they study the effects of doing LSD? Holy shit. Yeah, that is true. There are scientific studies that are related to people tripping balls on acid.
And mind you, I was not
When you're tripping balls, you don't go through walls. Exactly.
on drugs.
You might think you do, but you're not.
I went home to be with my folks, so I wasn't going to,
Is that Saruman? You are doing Sir Christopher Lee a major disservice by comparing the two.
smoke pot or anything.
Dude, this is like Saruman from Temu.
And yet,
Dude, I'm gonna be so real. It's like, Mom, can we have Saruman? We have Saruman at home, honey. Saruman at home. Dude. No, the notification had to pop up as I was doing the bit. Worst timing. Saruman at home. There we go. I finished the bit.
thing happened that was like worse than any acid trip I'd ever done.
Well, there you go. He even admits to doing acid. It was worse than any other acid trip, is basically what he's saying. What? You mean you see crazy shit when you're on acid? Holy fuck. Like, okay. Dismissal is the simpleton's tool. No, it's the reasonable thing to do when you're not provided with evidence for absurd claims. If somebody is like telling a story, it's somebody that does acid, mind you, and they're telling you a story about how they were sleeping, and then they magically phased through the ceiling and traveled really fast through space, and then magically ended up on one of the moons of Saturn, and then like they met like all of these like demons. They met the demon people, and then they got stripped naked. And then they teleported into their front or backyard or whatever. Right? I think it's reasonable to not believe them unless they provide you with sufficient evidence. That's a reasonable thing to not believe. Like if I tell you there's actually a purple elephant in my backyard right now, right? Wouldn't it be dumb of you to dismiss that? That'd be like the normal human response. And it wouldn't necessarily be bad either. You'd be correct to say, no, of course there's not a purple elephant in your backyard, no matter how much you insist that there is. Unless you, I don't know, show us the purple elephant. Why don't you show us? Oh, you can't. It's only you can see it, and it's only there when you're there. Oh, okay, great. Or oh, it doesn't show up in photos. There's some convenient bullshit like that. The same way that he claims that he has a scar on his forehead, but there's no visible scar. And this, and he doesn't get close to the camera to show like a scar, even if there's like a small scar. He doesn't try to show us it as evidence.
And I don't really know for sure, except I know that the thing on the lawn was real, and I know the thing on my forehead was real. I don't know.
Okay, if the thing on your forehead is real, then why can't we see it?
I mean, I know something happened because it had a profound.
Yeah, maybe you accidentally hit your head and fell down the stairs when you were tripping balls because you were on acid, which you admitted to being. All right, doesn't mean that you were a former satanic vampire with supernatural powers. It means that you were tripping balls in acid, you fell down the stairs like a fucking retard, you took your clothes off for whatever reason, you don't remember it, and you passed out in your backyard. So yeah, no shit. If you hit your head on something because you're tripping balls, yeah, your forehead's probably gonna hurt, but we don't see any permanent scar now, do we?
Change for the worse.
Let's actually talk about this, the change that happened in you. So in order to kind of transition into that part of your story, I wanted to kind of ask a question about this. I've heard that at the highest levels of witchcraft, now we're not talking about Wicca, we're talking about extremely high.
Oh, the highest levels, chat. Oh, we're getting into the good stuff.
Levels of witchcraft to the point that it's so dark that it's probably better to not talk about the things that happen there because it's extremely graphic. But anyway, like
oh my God, watch out. It's extremely graphic. We better not talk about it. Oh, that might be scarier than Harry Potter. Oh, dear.
These highest levels, you eventually come to a bottleneck. And this is what I've heard from people, and I just want to know if
a bottleneck? You mean like what your neck looks like? Perhaps? Maybe, potentially? I'm sorry, I had to.
That was your experience as well. You come to a point where you have to decide between two different paths. I'm not going to go into further detail than that, but is that
You're not going to go into further detail. Why?
real? Did you experience that?
Yeah, that happened to me. And I, as you may know, if you watched some of my videos, I was told that there's this 10.
Dude, if only you had watched this guy's videos, if only you had watched this guy and his schizobabble for hours on end, you would understand, all right?
Stage process of initiation in higher levels of the occult. And I had gotten up to what's called the 7th level, the Adeptus Major. I believe it. I'm kind of rusty on all this. I have a chart of this in my book, Lucifer Dethroned. But anyway, and at this point,
I want to see the chart. I feel like that would be funny to laugh
you have
at.
to cross the abyss, they call it. Aleister Crowley writes about this at great length. And the idea is if you can cross the abyss, you can be on your way to becoming a god.
Really? Okay, what's the evidence of this? Is there any empirical data to suggest that this is the case? Is there anything measurable, observable? Is there anything that we can do a scientific analysis of? Or is it, well, I was interacting with the spirits, totally not when I was doing acid. It was I swear, it was worse than the other times that I was tripping balls in acid before, actually. Okay? Look, I don't need evidence, okay? The spirits and demon people are telling me. And so are the bugs that are calling on me. And the people inside my walls. It's like, I don't know. Like, how abundantly ridiculous does this man have to be? Oh, shit, I accidentally pressed the wrong hotkey. Is it... Oh, becoming a vampire. Here it is. Sorry, I almost lost the spot.
At this point, you have to cross the abyss, they call it.
Cross the abyss?
Aleister Crowley writes about this at great length. And the idea is if you can cross the abyss, you can be on your way to becoming a god.
Really? Why hasn't anybody done that yet? You know, surely if that was, like, possible, then, like, someone would have done that, and they'd be God. Or maybe they already have done it, and we just don't know.
But in a particular branch of Satanism / ceremonial magic that I was involved in, because there are several.
Several.
I was given...
Show us your magic. Show us you doing a magical spell or some shit. All right? Make your bookshelf float or some shit, okay? Make your hat float off your head. All right? Show us your hairline or lack thereof, I assume. All right? Please. Do fucking something that shows you know how to do witchcraft. Don't just sit there and yap about it.
A fork in the road where I...
Happy Pride, you go, girly. Thank you.
Either go the route of being like a vampire or being a lycanthrope, a werewolf.
Dude, I'm sorry, and we're meant to take this guy seriously? Bro actually believes that he's a fucking werewolf? Or that he could have been? And
because of things I had heard from friends that were into this stuff, I decided to go with the vampire route. Because...
Oh, of course, of course. This sounds like something that you would expect to hear from, like, a 5th grader in their emo phase. Where it's like, you know, their emo friends are, like, also werewolves and vampires. It's like they're pretending to be wolves and vampires, but they take it very seriously. Don't you dare make light of it, okay? It's serious business, all right? They really are vampires. Except this guy is, like, you know, 4 or 5 times my age.
Running and just...
Dracula stole my werewolf... Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Dracula stole my werewolf foreskin when I was drunk. Why doesn't anyone believe me? Exactly. Exactly.
Seem more sexy, quote unquote. There aren't many sexy werewolves out there. So...
And let's just say you would not be the exception by any means. You might be the exception for vampires, though.
That's what I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but that was my personal experience.
Okay, so a lycanthrope is kind of like a somewhat to like a skinwalker. A lot of people in
Dude, is he like pretending to be scared or some shit? What is this acting?
Mexico or Latin America have these witches that do this.
Hey, could you sue again? Hello, Andy.
Kind of thing. So this is what you're talking about. And the other one, you said vampire. What do you mean by vampire?
I remember you from Minecraft Bedrock Edition. As is the case for many people, I guess. I didn't realize I left such a large footprint on there. Somehow I did. I guess I did used to play that shit way too much.
Vampire. Do you mean just drinking blood? Do you mean the literal tale of what vampires are about? Like, can you explain a little bit more what you mean by that?
Well, it's, of course, I never got real far into that because...
Oh, that's so inconvenient. Oh, he just never got real far into it, and he just has obviously zero actual evidence to back up his claims of being a former satanic vampire. But, you know, he's a very trustworthy guy. I mean, would a man like this, with a rectangular-shaped beard, ever lie to you? I think not. Clearly, he's a very trustworthy source. You know. If he was lying, his beard might look less like a polygon and more elliptical in nature.
You know, Yeshua, Jesus intervened, but it was like a cult of beings that were living on blood. And when I chose that path, this entity came to me who I now believe is a fallen angelic being who had a physical body. Just like you see in the Bible, there are angels that can...
Dude, okay, is the person interviewing him going to push back at all? Or are they just going to be like, wow, I can't believe that happened?
Assume a physical form and can, eat.
Are they going to be like, really? How do you know this isn't like a schizophrenic delusion?
Whatnot, like with this...
the question I've been asking the entire time.
3 angels with Abraham and Sarah in Genesis. But this is, of course, evil. And he gave me these things I had to...
Dude, it's evil, okay? Don't you know they have like devil horns and they're like satanic and stuff. So they're like the bad guys. You know, they're the bad guys because they have the red lightsaber. Okay? You know that Jesus is a good guy, okay? Because he's got the green lightsaber, okay? He's the good guy. Is that his level of analysis?
To do herbs, lots and lots and lots of cocaine.
Yeah, he just found out drugs make you think you're a vampire. Now he thinks he was real. Yeah, okay. Honestly, this guy is talking about how he did a bunch of drugs. I don't think he's lying. I think he's just schizo.
I had to do herbs, lots and lots and lots of cocaine.
Well, that explains a lot.
And
like, no way his brain will ever fully recover from the amount of drugs that he induced to himself.
To prepare myself.
And Samuel L. Jackson has a purple lightsaber because he asked for it. Yes.
And then at one point in the night, he came to me and cut open his chest, had me drink some of the blood. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, this is definitely a real thing that happened.
What it was within his chest. And then I had to lay down. I had literally made a coffin for myself. And I laid in the coffin for 3 days. And when I came out, I was
covered in piss, most likely. Because, I mean, no way you held your piss for 3 days. Like, bro was walking around already having peed his pants. Did you just, like, imagine seeing this guy walking down the street? You just see, like, this, like, massive piss stain? There's no way he could hold it that long. Literally impossible.
Kind of half transformed into something other than human.
Don't kink shame him.
And the only thing I could do was either drink blood or, this is going to sound weird as heck, celebrate a Catholic mass and drink the blood out of the chalice.
Bro, what? Huh? Okay, then why aren't there a bunch of vampires? Why aren't there a bunch of vampires at the Catholic Church then? Drinking the blood of Christ? Why don't we see a bunch of people with like pointy teeth at the Catholic Church? Why is it like a bunch of like kid diddlers and not like hot vampire women with pointy teeth? But like, make it make sense. At least be, if you're going to say deranged schizo shit, at least be internally consistent.
And that was how I survived. I didn't eat anything for over a year, except
what commentary am I meant to give? Like, what do I say to this? Like, yeah, he's a deranged schizo. Yeah, no fucking shit, he's a deranged schizo. You don't need me to tell you that. Content speaks for itself. Like, I'm actually baffled. And normally I have a lot of things to say, but, you know, it's getting to a point where it's like, Jesus.
Except that. And fortunately for me, I had a kind of a network of girls under me, young women, who were all...
Oh, young women? Is it the kind of young women that Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump tend to like? Is it those ones?
All parts of the, because I'd initiated 175 women into the covens that I was the head of. Because initiation, the kind of witchcraft we were doing.
Is deranged schizo a double negative asking for a friend lol? No, it would just be like, no, because it would be additive, not multiplicative. Would that be the correct terminology? You wouldn't be multiplying them. So it wouldn't cancel out, right?
Is always male to female if you're a high...
Though I will say that you could argue that the descriptor being deranged and the noun being schizo might be redundant, right? You could probably, like, if I'm calling them a schizo, colloquially, right? You could probably infer from that they're deranged.
Priest, you can only initiate women and vice versa. So some of these women were more than willing to have me bite them in the neck and drink their blood. And there were 4 or 5 of them.
I'm going to be real. I don't think that women want you to do that, okay? Women ask me to do that. I've done it before. Not to drink their blood. Because, like, Jesus fuck, that would require you bite very, very hard. Trust me. They've made me bite hard, okay? I'm telling you. Okay? So, yo, the bite marks are kind of sad, dude. Think about the bite marks, though, because you know how it, like, When you bite someone or someone bites you, you got like the little, like, teeth-shaped grooves in your skin. It's like kind of satisfying. Maybe they're like a little bit red. Dude. It's like that, but on stir. No, it'd probably look like really cursed. It'd probably be a little bloody and disgusting. Yeah, let's see the scars. Yeah, exactly. Let's see the scars. Like, he said that I don't understand why he had to, like, say that, like, oh yeah, I got, like, a scar on my forehead. Like, dude, just because you're wearing a hat doesn't mean that we can't see your forehead. Like, it's there. We can see your forehead. There's no scar. And if there was, you'd be able to, I don't know, get a little closer to the camera and show us if it's something not readily apparent with this camera quality. But, now it makes sense. A real vampire would want us not to believe this guy.
Them that would do this, and they, you know,
Ted Bundy did that? Yeah.
alternate so nobody would get particularly depleted by it. And this is going on for quite a while.
See, that's the thing is, like, I'm not into biting, but, like, the one aspect that I do like is, like, the aftermath of it. Like, seeing the aftermath for whatever reason is, like, I don't know. Something about it is, like, weirdly satisfying. I don't know. I gotta try more stuff.
And at the time, I couldn't go out in the sunlight. So I got a job working third.
Oh, like you were gonna go outside. Like you were otherwise gonna go outside and touch grass. Oh, you don't understand. You don't understand, Mom. I'm not staying inside all day playing Minecraft because I want to. No. I'm doing it because I'm a vampire. I will literally die if I have to go outside. I will die. Do you want me to die, Mom? Type shit.
Shift for the Milwaukee Sentinel at that time, one of the two newspapers. And my job was to put newspapers in boxes, you know, those metal boxes that they have on the street corners, in the middle of the night. And so I'd be doing that by night.
Dude, I can't. This is dude, how long? Dude, it goes on for so long. Dude, I'm not watching all of this in one sitting. Fuck that shit. We're already in like we've been covering this shit for like an hour or something. Some crazy shit. But yeah, I can't cover it any longer. The type shit got me. Yeah, I had to perfectly time it. I don't know. Damn. Yeah, that was exactly an hour. That might be like a future second or third channel video as like its own segment. I don't know. So I recorded that whole segment. I don't know if it's good or not. No idea. I love eating steak with my hands. Okay. Great. Very glad to hear that. Meow? Meow indeed. I'm a pickle. So real. Dude, one time I got kidnapped by the Jersey Devil and he spit roasted me with Bigfoot. Then they took me to the Creepypasta Mansion and Slenderman said he was going to turn me into a cat girl. Yeah. Happens to the best of us. It's very sad how that works. You hate to see it. It's one of the worst things ever. I want to make a YouTube video where I am primarily talking and I need background footage, preferably gaming. Recommendations: Minecraft PvP. Specifically, no debuff. Preferably Bedrock Edition, preferably on higher FPS. If you can record in at least 240 FPS and then render that shit well, and using Smoothie RS or Blur EXE, you know, like I do in my Minecraft PvP montages. I actually did that for a video once where I really didn't want to be on camera. This was like a long time ago. This was well over a year ago. And I was like, I didn't feel like being on camera because I didn't have this setup. All I had for my camera was my laptop webcam and my phone. And there was like nowhere to put my phone that was like intuitive with like good lighting for a bit. So I would like put my phone like over there, right? And then so I would have had to have moved the mic over there as well, right? And then I would have had to have you know, gone back and then read, you know, the like what I needed to say, because like I think I was like exposing somebody and reading their creepy Discord messages, right? and people's responses to them, right? And I didn't want to do this like weird back and forth, so I'm like, okay, we're doing gameplay in the background. I suck at PvP though. I could help you get good if you actually need that, but I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But yeah. For real, I've never seen chat still like this. Wait, what do you mean by that? Oh, you mean like not moving? Yeah. Maybe it's because I wasn't interacting with chat. I bet that's why. I bet me mainly focusing on the content side of things may have been why. You know? Keep in mind, I had no idea what we were going to be watching. Crazy. No, Florida man, no! Not this again. Why? Why, Florida man, why? No. We can't do this. Too busy with the video? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not too busy for you guys, okay? I love you guys. You guys are awesome. But sometimes I gotta do a stream segment. You know, I need to have like a backlog of footage that I can edit into videos potentially. Or like stream highlights. I'm either gonna heavily condense that and like only take like the best moments and make it into like a 10 to 20 minute video for the main channel, or I'll like loosely edit it and upload it to a second channel. I don't know, we'll see. Chat, keep it moving. Real. Damn, the stream died faster than some of my previous ones. I think it might have been me ignoring chat. I need to find the right balance. Clearly. Blah? Yeah, blah indeed. Blah is correct. Blah is a correct analysis of the matter, is it not? I would say it is. But yeah. I think that the average view duration for this is like slightly lower too. So, yeah. I'm used to being ignored. Well, that's no good. I need to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna restart stream for obvious reasons because, you know, stream died. And yeah, subscribe with notifications on, and I'll see you all in a few minutes. Don't you worry. I just gotta restart this bitch. And yeah. I might just do the olive oil run strategy and do like 10 streams in a day. Not really. I'm not gonna be that obnoxious. I'll be a little obnoxious. Maybe I'll do 3 if need be. I don't know. I don't understand what, like, why doesn't the YouTube algorithm just like, I don't know, give you a boost proportional to like new average view rate? Like, you know what I mean? Like, make it like it was before, where it's like the more engaged people currently are, like within the last however many minutes, I think, you know, the more it recommends it to people, right? Where it like tries to level out rather than like recommend it to a bunch of people, have it get to like a pretty low fucking average view duration. Like recommend it to a bunch of people all at once to get the average view duration down to like 23 seconds and then like kill the stream. Where it's like higher spikes but then lower valleys. I don't know. It just feels less stable. Like as if it wasn't already unstable enough. I don't know. It incentivizes, well, doing low effort shit, I guess. It very much incentivizes like spamming the fuck out of streams and uploads. And it's like, dude, why? Why has it got to be like this? The algorithm is keeping us down, man. No, the algorithm has actually been blessing us lately. I mean, aside from right now, I guess. But like, you know what happens. But as soon as I start a new stream, it's probably going to do well in the algorithm. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see. Go piss, girl. Yeah, I'm going to start a new stream in a few minutes. So make sure you subscribe to notifications on. YouTube might not send you a notification, especially because I'm doing multiple streams back to back. So make sure to refresh the ever-living fuck out of my page until you see my next stream. You know, unless you don't want to, I guess. But, you know, I mean, I'm just saying. Real ones remember dead channel maxing? Yeah, that's what the real ones stuck around for. Was dead channel maxing. Hey, I just joined. How is everything going today? We're doing well. We're doing well. I'll look out for your stream, mommy. Yo, calling me mommy right off the bat. That's crazy. That's crazy. Florida man, don't you even start. Don't you even say anything. Anyways. Be right back. I'm going to end the stream and then start another one in a few minutes, okay? Don't you worry. I'm not leaving you. All right?